Hello all, welcome to Clark Technologies, and we are very happy to announce that we are going to provide a free course for MuleSoft for all the freshers and beginners and who want to learn MuleSoft from scratch. This is entirely free course which we are going to release on day by day basis. So it will be a 30 days course, so it is very helpful for you to learn MuleSoft from scratch. And we have explained this course with the real-time project. We have built a real-time project also. In order to explain that, we have created a couple of files and project code as well. So if you want to get those files and projects, please email us with this subject line, request to share level 1 course file. Also, we have an important announcement that we are planning to release a MuleSoft advanced level 2 course very soon. So in this course we will be discussing most of the topics of MuleSoft, which will help you very well in order to complete level 2 certification as well as to work on complex real-time projects as well. So I hope you will be enjoying that course as well. So if you want to know more details about advanced level course, please contact us via mobile or email. We will be sharing those details. So without further delay, let's get started. Yeah, hi, welcome to this video. Actually, I assume that you have already watched these previous two videos which is related to this error handling topic. Okay, because in those two videos we have discussed everything about error handling, like what are the different strategies available in MuleSoft and how we can handle errors based on different scenarios. But to be frank, every project will not contain all the scenarios, right? So that's why I have created separated. I have created those two videos separately to make you understand what are the different types of error handlings we have in MuleSoft. But now we will not implement everything here, but we will implement global error handling in our project. Okay, so to do that, you need to create one XML file because as a MuleSoft best practices, you need to keep all the error handling in some one error handling.xml file as a global error handler. From there, you need to refer that to in your application, implementation flows. Okay, so I am creating a new configuration file. I name it as error handling.xml. Alright, so here you need to first you need to add error handler. This is the scope you need to drag and drop. Okay, you can name it as global error handler, or you can rename it as any name you want by following the naming conventions. Okay, so first let's drag and drop on error propagate here, and error type we already discussed this, right? So error type, maybe we can first because in this particular error handling.xml you don't have any connectors, so it will not show you the expressions here. Maybe you can write manually DB connectivity. Let's do that first. Capital letters. DB connectivity because we have one database connector already, right? So if any error occurred related to that DB connectivity, this error handler block should invoke and it should handle. So here, as of now, let me add one logo, because in this global error handler you need to capture as many as on error propagate or as many as on error continue. Let's add one logger, and let's add some log message just for our reference. You can add any log message you want. I'm just adding like error handling flow. Then let's add some transform wave. Once this kind of error occurs, how the response will send like. Okay, so as usual we will just change it to application/json, and I would like to capture error, because whenever an error is occurred, error object is created. So let's capture the error object details and all. But before that, let's add some static message like error application, something like that. And let's add error occurred in this system API, something like that. We can add this. By using this we can understand in which API the error is occurred.
Let me add error occurred in IBS Library Management System API. Let's add a couple of more details. So as this is the just JSON key value page and a comma, you should follow the syntax. Then add another one like error message. Okay, so we already seen in our previous video, to capture the error message you can use error object and error dot detailed description. So in the detailed description field you will find what is the exact error occurred, right? So yeah, and then along with this, so let's rename it as like error response, and this is the best practice you should remember while working in MuleSoft flows. You should not use a default connector names. You need to always change the display name to some relevant name. Okay, so in the same manner, let me just rename the logger also with some reasonable name like error logger or something. And now as we have all the connection details correct values, what will happen whenever the DB connectivity error occurs? I mean, there will be no DB connectivity error because we are using correct host, correct username and password and all the configuration details are correct. So to replicate this DB connectivity error, let me go to this local.yaml property file where I'll just edit some values. Here these are all the correct values, so we can able to connect. So to make that connectivity error, I'll just add something in the host, something like test. So which means it is not a valid host, it is invalid host. So obviously once you run this application, it will throw the connectivity error. Right, so let me save this. I'm going to put some debugger points. Yeah, before that, we need to add this main configuration into global.xml, search for configuration, and here default error handler, select the error handler main flow name. This, don't forget to do this, otherwise it will not affect. So select your error global handler name, then click OK. Let's save it. Now, yeah, yeah, it's correct. Yeah, I just re-verified it. Okay, now what we need to do, like yeah, let me add one more block like on error continue. We already added one propagated, so this time we will capture any type of error. So remember that in your error handler flow, global error handling or whatever it may be, you should contain one any block like this here. So if we want to capture each and every error type manually, you can do it, but at the end of the error handler block you should definitely have one block which should handle any type of error. So that should be the last entry of your error handling blocks. You can have many number of on error propagate, on error continue for any different kind of errors like HTTP errors, DB errors, Salesforce errors, SAP errors, something. But at last you should have one error block. It may be on error continue or propagate, but it should handle any type of error. Now I am just editing this data view. Here I have added one more thing like error details, and there I just want to print the complete error object here. Let's see what will be there once I printed everything. But we should not print this error object completely, but I just wanted to show you something, so that is why I just printed error details like error. It will print lot of details, we will observe that. Okay, so in the logger also I can just add something like common logger for any kind of any type of errors it can handle like that. And yeah, let me put some debug point. Let me put another point, maybe yeah, meanwhile I'm just opening the Postman to test this libraries flow. Let it open. And yeah, so we have this rating library code. We can test this, or maybe we can go with normal first resource, get the library. You can test anything, but to replicate it, maybe get library details is a little easy to show you in debug mode. So you can test anything. Okay, so before that we can just deploy this. I mean, we can run this in debug mode. Let me add some debugger points. So yeah, let's run this. Yeah, it is pointing to local only. Let's run this. Let's wait a couple of minutes to make it this deployed. Let it be. It is still deploying. Yeah, now it is deployed. Let's test this. But why debugger? Yeah, see now the error is, but it is not. I mean, it is sending direct response. I just wanted to show you the debug mode, but why that is not getting opened? Maybe, yeah, sorry, by mistake I run as Mule application. We need to just to get the debug mode, you need to run it as a debug as a Mule application, right? But that's okay. Just observe the error response. First line is the static one, and second is error message, the actual error description which is coming from the database. Then we printed the complete error object, na? So this is what happened once you print complete error object. It has lot of information like this. So it has many information, so you should not print complete error object like error details colon error. You should not print empty error object. Once you print entire error object, this is the long response, error response you will get. In the error object you can have these many details. Let me just paste it in a notepad and show you. See these many lines, 1081 lines, right? So this much information is available in error object, but we need to capture what is the information which is needed for us to send as an error response to the client, right? So yeah, we can capture error dot error type to capture the type of the error, and we have already captured error description. So description is also, we can use the same thing for the second field. So let's try to edit that our data view. See in cause and in details we have this much information. All right, so we should not send this much error object information to client or as a response, right? So let's modify that. So let me go back to I just wanted to show you for DB connectivity how the control will jump to this error object. So let's run this in debug mode. But before that, let me add in the error details. We can just capture error type instead of doing it complete error. So now let me run it in debug mode. So debug as mail application. It may take some time. Let's see. Once it is running in debug mode, then we hit the endpoint, it will, it will show you how the control goes once any error is occurred, right? So it will be easy for us to understand the flow. Let's wait. Yeah, now debug perspective is opened. Maybe it will take 1 more minute to deploy. Let's wait. Yeah, it is not yet deployed. Now it is deployed. Let me just clear the console and let's trigger this based on the rating and book code. Okay, so it should see debug point is now coming here in the get books flow. Now if we can click next, it will just go to the debug connector, sorry, database connector. But now it is not throwing error because once we hit next, then it will execute the database connector. So let's hit the next button. Then you can see and observe that here earlier there is no error object. Yeah, I just clicked on next now. See, it will throw this red mark dotted box. It means some error occurred in this connector. So whenever any error occurred, then only the error object is getting created. So here you can see in the right side in the pink color area, there you can see what is the error. Okay, you can see what the error it throws. But we already know that this is a like a connectivity error, right? So likewise you can see this much information it is coming there when we printed the error earlier. See, now the control go to this particular db connectivity block. It doesn't go to any block because we have explicitly mentioned that db colon connectivity error type should come to this flow. So we mentioned that in the type, in the error propagate. So whatever error you want to capture or handle, you can enter, you can add those error types in your error block on error propagator or error continue. See, next once we click on next, it should go to back and it will send the response. And now if you can see, the error response is somewhat little. The error details we mentioned, error dot error type, but this also maybe we can beautify later. Maybe you can just simplify it accordingly as per your requirement. Some projects require more information in the error response, and some projects require minimum information. So according to your requirement in your real-time project, you can just modify the error response accordingly. Sometimes like we need to send notifications or a mail confirmation, mail notification or cloud hub alerts to the applications, or to set off some people whenever any error occurred like this. Apart along with the response received in the postman, you need to send some notification. That is also we need to do. So we can cover this notification alert spot later once we complete the main stuff of API connectivity. Then we will see that. Okay. Now, yeah, I think this is how you can work on different error scenarios. You can handle any kind of errors in this way. Okay, so just wanted to show you something. Just give me 1 minute. Um, Sorry, yeah. Maybe before that, let me just roll back this, because next time if we use this API, it will throw this connectivity error. Right, I'll just roll back the change I did. Okay, let me just commit the code. I think yeah, remaining errors you can just try do practice, and you can just try to find out. I mean, use as many as errors, and you can use as many as on error propagate and continue, because we have already covered in our previous videos how to use the different error handling components, right? So you do practice for the system API for multiple errors, right? Then if you have any doubts, maybe you can just get back to me. Let me commit the code and push the code to the origin, because now everything is working fine at this stage. We should not lose the code, right? So it should be our daily practice. So I'm just pushing the code to origin. Right. So yes. Yeah, because we have not deployed this into Cloud Hub. Now let me just deploy these changes to the Cloud Hub as we did earlier, or maybe like let me export it and let me deploy it to the Cloud. As you already aware of Cloud Hub deployment, I don't want to capture that. I'll just deploy it by our next session. I'll just deploy it, and let's test together. Okay, I'm deploying it into Cloud Hub 1.0 only like this. Okay, let me just or else let me just export this as jar file. Yeah, let me export this as a jar file and we can deploy it. By the way, new version is released by MuleSoft, Mule 4.5.2. Now we are using 4.4.2. So this is why MuleSoft is more popular, because it will release new patches and new releases very frequently. So maybe let's explore 4.5.0 runtime also later point. Because this is the new release, even I need to explore what are the different changes and different improvements uh, they have released compared to 4.4. So we can cover that also later point of our course. But remember, if anyone asks you like what is the latest runtime, now you should tell 4.5 is the new runtime. Till today we have 4.4, but in the October 3rd, I guess they released this new version. Let's explore that as well. Okay, I'm just deploying it manually by exporting this jar file. As you're already aware of this, maybe I can skip this step. Let's meet in another video, and let's work on another topics. Thank you.